Math 7, Unit 3, Proportional Reasoning, Lesson 6, Part 2, Solving Proportions Notes. Okay, in this lesson on solving proportions, we're covering the following concepts. You can read through those. Well, parts of them, not them in their entirety. The vocabulary term, we're going to be going over conversion rate. It's a ratio of quantities ultimately equal to 1 used to convert between different units. For example, 2.54 inches divided by 1, or centimeters divided by 1 inch, or the other way around, 1 inch divided by 2.54 centimeters. 1,440 minutes over a day, that's because those are equal length of time. Those are conversion ratios, conversion rates. So in a previous lesson, we learned method 1, doing the mental math. So you have to go back to that previous lesson. Method 2 is using the multiplication property of equality, which states if A equals B, then AC equals BC, multiplying both sides by C. When the proportion has the unknown in the numerator, then you can multiply both sides by the denominator in order to solve the proportion. Consider the following examples. So 3/5 equals C over 12. We multiply both sides by 12, and we get our answer, 7.2. Pretty straightforward. Here's another example. B over 15 equals 4 over 5. I multiply by the 15 on both sides, and I get B equals 12. Okay, method 3 is to use cross products property. If A over B equals C over D, then AD equals BC. That's the cross products property. Apply cross products property, then solve the resulting equation. So 3/5 equals C over 12. We do the cross products. 3 times 12 and 5 times C. That's 36 equals 5C. We divide both sides by 5 and we get our answer. This is the exact same problem as we did right up there. It's just a different method. Right here, we do the cross products, B times 5 and 15 times 4. And then when we divide by 5 here, we get B equals 12. Okay, so on page 54 in the notes, solve each of the following proportions using the multiplication property of equality. We would start by, we're multiplying by the number underneath the variable. So multiply by both sides by 100 here. I'm going to put it over 1 so that we're used to looking at the fractions. And that gives me P on this side. 100 times 4 is 400. 400 divided by 5 is 80. So P equals 80. Next one. Okay, on this we would multiply both sides by 6 to get rid of the number underneath. And I'm going to do divide by 1 there too, because then you realize we're dealing with fractions. We can get rid of the 6 here. Y equals 6 times 12 is 72, divided by 8 is 9. 358. 11 over 32 equals H over 64. I'm going to multiply both sides by 64 over 1. Excuse me. 64 divided by 32 would be 2 over 1. And 2 times 11 is 22. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to look at cross products property examples. Solve each of the following proportions using the cross products property. 9/10 equals J over 25. Cross multiply here. 10 times J is 10J. 9 times 25 is 225. Now I can divide both sides by 10. And this gives me J equals 22.5. Next example. 10 25ths equals P over 100. Cross products will be 25P, and 10 times 100 is 1,000. We can go ahead and divide both sides by 25, and P will equal 40. Next example. We do the cross products. 8 times 9 is 72. K plus 1 times 12 is K plus 1 times 12. We need to distribute the 12. This is 12K plus 12, and that all equals 72. We're going to subtract the 12. 12K equals 60. divide by the 12, and k equals 5. Okay, more examples. These being situation problems. Write and solve a proportion to answer the question. Julie assembled 14 bicycles in the 4-hour work period. Julie worked for 26 hours this week. How many bicycles can we expect that Julie assembled this week? I want to demonstrate this two ways. First, using proportions. 14 bicycles in 4 days, or 4 hours, and X bicycles in 26 hours. Doing bikes on top and hours on bottom. If I do the cross products here, 14 times 26 is 364, and 4 times x is 4x. Okay, those are the two cross products. And divide by 4, and we get x equals 91. That is 91 bicycles, or just bikes. Okay? The other method that you could use is using proportional reasoning with unit rates. If you take 14 divided by 4, that's 14 bicycles in 4 hours. That's 3.5 bikes per hour. And you can take 26 hours times 3.5 bikes, and that gives you 91 bikes. So that is a different method of doing it. Both are valid. But the problem says to write and solve a proportion. So this is the intended method in red. I just wanted to make note that that blue method is okay if you're not specifically being told to practice this method. Okay, example 363. Barry applies a pesticide to control adult mosquitoes using a ULV, which means ultra low volume, fogger. The application rate is 0.003 pounds per acre of the active ingredient permethrin. He uses 2.5 pounds of permethrin spraying mosquitoes one night. How many acres are treated? So we have pounds of permethrin compared to acres. So let's line our proportions up with pounds over acres. The unit rate is 0.003 pounds per 1 acre, and Barry used 2.5 pounds per x acres. If we cross multiply here, we get 0.003x equals 2.5. We'll divide by the 0.003, and we get x is, 2.5 divided by 0.003 is 833.3 repeating acres. So Barry treated about 833 acres. For unit conversions, they can be accomplished using proportions. One fraction is the conversion rate, and the other is the measurement comparison. For example, 12 inches converted into centimeters. The conversion rate is 1 inch is represented by 2.54 centimeters, and 12 inches will be represented by x centimeters. With one of those fractions is the conversion rate, the other is the measurements. We do the cross products, we divide, and we don't need to divide by anything here. We just get x equals 30.48 centimeters. Interesting note, 30 centimeters is considered to be the metric foot. It's only off by about ½ centimeter, so it's actually pretty close. We're going to convert each measurement to the new unit, and we're going to do it using proportions. Kings Peak is about 13,530 feet above sea level. How many miles? Well, let's compare feet to miles here. And feet, it's 13,530 feet and x miles. We don't know how many. But 1 mile is 5,002. I got that backwards. 5,280 feet is 1 mile. Okay, feet on top, miles on bottom. Cross multiplying here will give me 13,530 equals 5,280x. If I divide both sides by 5280, I'll get 13,530 divided by 5280 is 2.5625, and that will equal x. It doesn't say specifically what to round to. Generally, we go maybe a couple decimal places here. This is 2.56 miles. That would be the height of Kings Peak above sea level. A water cooler holds 3 gallons. How many cups does it hold? Okay, on this one, we are comparing cups to gallons. So let's put cups on top and gallons on bottom. We've got 3 gallons, we don't know how many cups. And over here we know that 1 gallon is 16 cups. We cross multiply here, 3 times 16 is 48, 1 times x is x. We get 48 cups. Okay, an exercise weight is 25 pounds. What is the weight mass in kilograms? Okay, we're comparing pounds to kilograms. The exercise weight is 25 pounds. We don't know what it is in kilograms. But 1 kilogram is 2.205 pounds. Cross multiply, we get 2.205x equals 25. We'll go ahead and divide by 2.205. And x equals, well, 25 divided by 2.205 is 11.3378, etc. I'm going to round that to 11.34. And this is going to be kilograms, right? Yeah, kilograms. So 25 pounds is 11.3 kilograms. All right, on the practice, number 1, you're solving with multiplication. Don't forget to show your step. Half of your points come from showing the work, the other half from the answer. Number 2, the first number 2, there's some typos on this. You're doing cross products to solve. The second number 2, you are doing proportions to solve do the conversion. Number 3 is a unit rate problem. You can use proportions to do it, to figure out how much someone would weigh on the moon. Number 4 is a review of plotting points. Number 5, list the rates in order. You just find the slowest one and then list the next slowest on up to the fastest of those rates. Number 6 is doing the GCF factoring. Remember, on that you need to find the greatest common factor of the 2 numbers and pull it out. By the way, quick little hint here, 7 goes into 28 and 35, it's the largest number that does. 7 goes into 28 4 times, and 7 goes into 35 5 times, and then you can pull the 7 completely out. I guess this is doing the problem completely, but that reminds you how to do it, and then you can do part B. Number 7, tell whether a statement's true or false. There's a couple examples there, make you do a little bit of thinking. Same with number 8. I tell you that m over n is 1/2 and n over k is 2/5. I want you to figure out what m over k would be based on that.